would almost halve the duration of the present historical period.
Thank you. So the question for those who may not have heard it is, what is the panel's response to the recorded utterance of the Buddha that the ordination of women would halve the life of the sasana? So please.
I will take that question. In fact, you know, this is a kind of quotation that is quoted out of context. Hello? Now I need microphone from here. Hello, my brother up there. Yes, particularly you read in Gautami Sutra, you know, when Mahapajapati Gautami, the Buddha's own stepmother, asked for ordination, the Buddha refused 3 times. He hesitated to give her permission. So eventually, Ananda intervened. The word that Ananda was using was pariyayena. Pariyayena means he went roundabout way and asking why you are not giving ordination, why you are not giving permission to women. Is it because women cannot be enlightened? The Buddha said, Ananda, women can be enlightened. Women can achieve Sodapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahat. And because of that, that's why he gave permission. And then he told Ananda, now you go and give her the Garudharma. And then he said that the Buddha Sasana will be shortened for 500 years, and by permitting women to join the order, it will be like a paddy field that will be eaten up by worms. But the last passage says that just like a man who built the dam to prevent the flood, I am giving Garudharma, just like the dam preventing the flood. So this, the last one, you have to read also. Otherwise, you are quoting out of context, and you would misunderstand what the Buddha meant. Thank you, Venerable.
Thank you. Could we have the questioner at microphone number 3, please?
Should I speak away from the microphone?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. My question most closely relates to the talk given by Venerable Dr. Karma Lekshi
Oh, that's better.
Samo. In making gender irrelevant, is it more important to create more monasteries for nuns, or to make gender irrelevant in the current monasteries?
Well, I think we need more opportunities for women in all situations. There are many monasteries in Asia for women, but they don't all have education programs for women to really move into positions as teachers and as leaders and to really gain a voice in Buddhist institutions. You know, women have almost no voice in Buddhist institutions at all, in any Buddhist country. The positions of leadership in most of these traditions are reserved for men. So for women to really take these positions, they need to be fully educated and trained. In addition, we need many more facilities for women. There are hundreds of women in the Himalayas and other countries who would like to take ordination but have no place to go. In the United States, we have no monastery for women, and nobody noticed. So there's a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Microphone number 4, please.
My question's in response to the title of this panel, and I'll direct it to Karma Lekshmi Somo. Do you think gender is irrelevant?
No. I think gender is very relevant. We cannot erase gender because it's an obvious fact of life. In addition, we've been conditioned as men and as women to certain roles and to certain attitudes towards ourselves and towards others. So we have to question these attitudes and understand the ways in which gender is constructed. Gender is constructed through the stories we hear as children. For example, this story about the Buddha's hesitation, the story about the 8 Guru Dharmas, the stories about the predictions that the sasana would die out because of the admission of women. These passages are highly questionable. It's almost certain that they were not spoken by the Buddha. If you look at the Pali text, they're written in a totally different language from the sutra in which they appear. It's very clear that they were added several hundred years later. But these stories are very important because throughout Buddhist history, they have shaped society's attitudes towards women, and more importantly, women's attitudes towards themselves.
About the, can I have a microphone? Yes. Okay, about the gender issue, about, this sexuality, in my talk, I was trying to explain that in the teaching of Mahayana or the sutra, you have all this sutra talk about the transform women's body and into a male body. A lot of people were confused. They were thinking about what the Buddhism was talking about, like sexual, transplant. Well, I think that what it really means is, there was the basic teaching also in Buddhism. We talk about reincarnation. And we believe that even now, if you are born as a woman, you cannot always say, okay, in my previous life, I'm always a woman. Or you are born as a man, then in your previous life, you are always a man. I think that in science, we did prove that even for a female, right now you are a woman, you also have a muscular hormone. And being a man, you also have a feminine hormone as well. That's also proved that we are reincarnated. In so many lives, we could be a man and women, okay? And not only men and women, that indeed science also proved that human being and the animal, 98% DNA are similar. And that also proved that we human beings are also in the realm of animal as well, in this cycle of reincarnation. So come to Mahayana, the teaching is, we think this is a cycle of, the birth and death. There was no fixed, nature called men or women. We could be men and we could be a women. Of course, nowadays, we live in this world, we still have to face men and women. And I think that, the problem with our social issue is because we always need to say, okay, we cannot accept. The problem is we cannot accept the differences. Okay, being a man, you need to be a man. If you are a woman, you are weaker, you are not man, so you cannot equal with me. Or you are white, you are black, I'm white, and you need to be white in order to be equal with me. So this is the problem. And a lot of time when we talk about equality or when we talk about unification, we don't have the necessary to be all the same. For example, we don't have to wait until all the women transform into men, then we are equal. Or even though technically we can, but we don't have to. Or we don't have to wait until the whole world, everyone become white, and then we are equal. So this is something that we need to, kind of face that yes, we are different, but the opportunity should be the equal opportunity. Like I agree with, Lakshay Zomo. I think that not just, nowadays we are talking about the ordination. That's not just, I don't think that's enough. Also the education as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Could we have the speaker at microphone 3?